What up, people? It's your boy, Master Judy, out here with another review of Unicorn Warriors Eternal. So we have episode 3, and I want to say that the episode is now moving on, or the story is now progressing pretty well. Last we left off, we had basically the mix of Emma and the original Melinda um, essentially destroy a whole city block, and we're now receiving or reliving the consequences of that. Plenty of people were injured, and the rest of the people, the Edred and Dimitri Dynamo amalgamation, but it's pretty much Edred basically, and Alfie, who is now saying, have essentially are essentially pretty much on the run with Copernicus, trying to figure out what has happened. That their reawakening has been altered. It's different. There are things that are not as they should be, and so now they're trying to track down Melinda slash Emma. Emma returns back home to try to piece together what memory that she had, and hearing that she remembered a bit of her childhood. She was a great violinist. Her relationship with Winston, basically the time with her parents as she was getting ready for her wedding, and she tries to put on a disguise because she is wanted. She manages to see her parents, who thought her dead, and the mother thinking that Winston's dead, but she comes down, tries to confront them, but she leaves, and her father notices that this is not necessarily her daughter, not their daughter, basically. Um, Essentially, you have now all of London in steampunk now worried about these magic people. The constable or the detective of Scotland Yard is saying, "Pish posh, there's no such thing as magic. We're going to find them. We're going to bring them justice." Yeah. Then, in the midst of all of this, there have been some artifacts, statues, Greek statues that have been stolen by the same robots that attacked Copernicus, basically. And so that will play a little bit later on in the story. Emma decides to go back to the hospital where she finds out that Winston is alive, and Edred Sang and Copernicus begin to track her down. In the meantime, Sang is still Alfie as Sang, or Sang as Alfie is still exploring his powers, basically. So, as we see later on, another incident happens. It's becoming too much, so she decides to go to a street performer who is obviously a charlatan in terms of a medium, asking him to essentially exercise whatever is in me out. And they go in. She gives up her engagement ring as payment because this guy wants some money. But as they do it, you initially think that the spirit is not there, but it is there. And here we see the first time of the spirit of Melinda meeting the spirit of Emma. And Melinda's like saying, "I don't know what's happened, but you're going to have to give me your body because there's a great evil that's coming. If you don't, you're selfish." And Emma's like, "I don't care. You're ruining my life. I didn't want this power. Get out of my body." So they you now see that there's now a intrinsic struggle between the two spirits, one of Emma, one of Melinda. We see that Edred, Althea Sang, and Copernicus managed to track down Emma and Melinda, all while evading the police. What's fascinating is that we have a little bit of history whereby you have two people who are part of a group that know about the existence of these heroes, as they're called, who are always reincarnated whenever the world needs them, and they say that, "Oh, our ancestors were those people, and we've been waiting to be chosen." And then, I know this is going to play out how it'll play out, but the council was like, "Well, you two have been chosen," and they think that there's a mistake. But fast forward to that, the group is reunited. Edred sees the spirit of Melinda before the thing is broken up. And of course, that Greek army of statues, which is pretty comical because they all have their parts out, basically. They're nude. They don't want Emma to be blighted with such atrocity. But they find it and they fight. They manage to destroy. Well, they're busy fighting all of these all of these Greek statues, and Emma's trying to not get involved, but it seems like Melinda is a little bit too powerful, so they begin to fight. But Alfie is following a fox that has been in his visions because Alfie traverses the world in kind of a spiritual plane, much exactly like saying. But this fox turns into a monstrous fox, and then we see um, a fox in a dress, an anthropomorphic fox, who was seen as a mysterious form in the first two episodes, basically. She is described as the evil in the story, and it ends on them in battle, basically. And the preview of the next of the next episode shows them still in battle. So that's the end of that. Um, Personally, I like this episode. I think it flowed well. The pacing is good. Genndy really showcases that he knows how to pace, and I think that he might have learned from the slow burn of Samurai Jack in terms of the first 5 episodes, and this time he's trying to progress the story of season 5 Samurai Jack. That is, he's trying to progress the story. In addition, I think the animation is good. I've always appreciated the steampunk. I think that the animation of this third episode really gels well together. The characters are very good. We definitely see the inner turmoil, literally, in in the fusion of Emma and Melinda, of two spirits occupying one body, and they both have distinct personalities as opposed to Melinda usually going throughout the business of taking over these bodies and doing what she needs to do. In addition to that, we're now seeing that our antagonist is making plays. This time, she's been in the shadow. She's decided to say, as she mentioned in the end of the second episode, that, okay, things are a little bit different. So now obviously she's going to move differently. And she's getting ready to attack, as we see in the end of this episode, or the preview of episode 4. Um, Winston basically, is not dead, and you can only help but feel sorry for him, as well as Emma's parents, with even the father realizing that that might not be his daughter anymore. We don't know. It's always good to have those tensions of whether or not there'll be a good resolution to Emma's past life with Winston and her parents. We don't know. At the same time, we're also going to have to deal with the fallout of Edred being the only one to have his transfer to go without a hitch, even though he admitted that there are issues with him as well. So Copernicus being the only one as well. So I guess this is a solid episode. I really liked it. More happened. I give this a 9 out of 10. I listened to Altori's review, and she had legitimate concerns about the beginning of the show itself. But I think that this show will move forward, and I think it's doing well. And I think Genndy continues the art of storytelling, using words and showing still. Because obviously he went extreme with Primal. I think this one he wants to try to add a little bit more dialogue, and here we do, and here we are. So, thank y'all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notifications to make sure you're notified. Once again, I do these reviews for you, the people, because I want to discuss good animated shows like this and get your opinions on them. Tell me if y'all watching Unicorn Warriors Eternal and what you think about it. Thank y'all for watching, and I hope to have more videos up when I can.